All right, guys, this is the cast of our party. So this is originally known as taco soup, sort of, but I switched it up a little bit and it's so delicious. 1 smart point per cup. You can make it 0 points if you change up a couple items on here, and I will show you what that is. I forgot to add my chili beans. Okay, so we have 1 pound of ground turkey, 99% lean. You're going to use 1 cup of the sweet kernel frozen corn, 1 packet of the Hidden Valley Original Ranch. You can make this is 3 points, I believe it, no, 2 points, 2 or 3 points. Either way, you can make this 0 by using the other ranch seasoning dressing mix, and you just use 2 little packets and it's 0. But this doesn't change up the point value, so I just go ahead and use this. A tablespoon of chili powder, 1 cup of chicken broth, any kind of chicken broth as long as it's 0 points. The red gold tomato sauce is 0. There's other ones that are high in points that made my other chili 2 points a cup. This is 0, so it stays at 1. A can of diced petite tomatoes, and I use the ones with the green chilies in them. And then we use 2 cans of the Ro-Tel. These are the 10-ounce cans with I got the lime and cilantro on these ones, which really gives it a really nice flavor. And it does have the green chilies in there as well. We need 1 ounce of the Tones Taco seasoning mix, or a seasoning packet, which is 3 points, and that doesn't change up the points at all as either. 1 can of the chili beans with the mild chili sauce. This is what is going to make your points go up a little bit. If you just use regular chili beans, your soup, I think, will be 0 points. 1 can of the refried beans, fat-free. 1 can of the low-sodium pinto beans, and 1 can of the low-sodium black beans. I didn't have low sodium in that, but usually I will use the low sodium, because everything else that's used in here gives it enough sodium where you can use the lower point sodium cans of beans. That is all we're going to use for this dish, and let me show you how to get started. 1 onion diced as well. So what we're going to do is take these onions first off, and I've got my pan preheating here, and I'm going to just add a little bit of the cooking spray, and we're going to dump those onions in. And yeah, my pan is pretty hot right now. I'm going to actually turn this down a little. And we're going to soften these onions up a little bit, and then we're going to add the turkey in just a second. Just salt and pepper these onions just a little bit, and then they'll get a little sweaty. It'll help them not burn when you fry them up. This is my little meat chopper. I got this off of Amazon. Really nice. This really helps with chopping up the drier turkey breast that's 99% fat-free. Just dumped my chicken or my turkey in here, and I'm just going to chop this up, and I'll bring you back and show you what that looks like. Okay, that is all chopped up, and what I do is spray just a little tiny bit of oil on top of it there, so it'll help keep it moist. And if it gets really dried out and you don't want to add a little bit of olive oil or any more oil, you can add a little chicken broth, and that helps a lot. But this will give off a little bit of liquid here in a little bit. So that is it, and then just keep chopping and stirring this with your chopper, and that's what I do. I just keep chopping, stirring until it is brown, and then I will show you the next step. If you guys really want to make this easy, you can also use minced dried onions and put that in here with your turkey. So easy, and this is the hardest part of making this meal, guys, is just browning your turkey. Alright guys, I have you on the tripod now, so it's going to be a lot easier to show you what's going on. This is just about ready to add up all of your other stuff. While this is finishing browning, I am going to open up all of my cans I have going on over here. Alright guys, I have everything ready. And when I say this is just dump and go, it literally is just dump and go. So we're going to add the corn here. I'll just add the rest of this bag. I usually go half and half. We're going to dump in this can of chili beans here with the mild sauce. We're going to dump in the pinto beans. We're going to dump in the black beans. I did rinse the black beans and the pinto beans. You don't have to rinse them, just dump out the liquids in there. I'm just trying to save sodium, and you don't really need to even do that. We're going to dump in the ranch seasoning packet. We're going to dump in 1 cup of the chicken broth. We got to put in this little guy here. This is the refried fat-free beans. This is the can of Red Gold tomato sauce. This is the diced tomatoes with green chilies. And then we have diced tomatoes with lime juice and cilantro. You can get any kind of Ro-Tel you like. I usually get the original, but today I got this kind, and we've had this before and it was really good. Well, we've got to add the chili powder in there, 1 tablespoon of that, and then we're going to add 1 ounce of this. I'm going to weigh it out on my scale, and that is 1 ounce right there. And let me just kind of put my tablespoon in there, and I can kind of tell you how many tablespoons that is. So there's 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, so right about 3 tablespoons is what that ended up being. Now what we're going to do is just stir this up. We're just stirring this up now really well. It's got to come back up to boil. And then turn it down to simmer. And leave this simmer for a good 3 or 4 hours. Just on really low simmer. And then just stir it every once in a while so it doesn't... Sometimes those refried beans like to soak to the bottom and they'll stick to the bottom of your pan a little bit. So just stir it every... half hour or so, or every time you think of it, just stir it up. And then 1 cup of this, which is usually a typical ladle like this is a half a cup, so 2 of these ladles worth of chili is what is 1 Smart Point. This is so good, you guys. I could eat this every day. Now we're gonna cover it up. And my pan's a little bit sneaky, so I have to pull that side out. Okay, that is it, and we're just going to leave this come to a boil. When it does, I'm going to turn this down to simmer and then leave it go for several hours. This took about 15 minutes to start boiling, and now I have it down to simmer. So we are going to let this cook now for about 3 hours. So alright guys, that was it. It was so simple that it's just, like I said, dump and go. It's a simple meal to make. The longest thing takes to fry up the turkey in the beginning of it with the onion. And like I said, you could use minced onion, no problem with that. And yeah, it would be even more simple then. You really got to let it simmer for at least 2 hours, because all those flavors are going to mingle and get really, really good. The next day, this is even better after it sits in the fridge for overnight. So good. Thank you for watching this cook with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video if you think anybody would love this chili, which I think many of you would. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.